In 2014, I was elevated to AIA's College of Fellows here in Chicago. Professionally speaking, I didn't think I could ever top that moment. Here I am now, in 2022, in Chicago again, as president of the American Institute of Architects. The awe and gratitude that I feel in this moment, it's indescribable and powerful. For the first time in 3 years, we are back together again for the Conference on Architecture. That's powerful. What's more, we are the American Institute of Architects, and we are connected by a rich history of purpose and action. From AIA's original 13 founders in New York in 1857, to the thousands in this room, to the tens of thousands of our members, and to the countless future colleagues who haven't yet drawn their first sketch or even taken their first step, we are all connected. We are all of us stewards of this incredible movement. And as stewards, we share a responsibility to do good as we do well. In fact, I think that's at the heart of what it means to be a 21st century architect, doing good while we do well. Being an architect today requires technical acumen, emotional intelligence, empathy, professional integrity, the ability to envision and realize meaningful positive change, and an overarching instinct to focus and bring it all together holistically, lyrically. That's exactly what we did as the COVID-19 crisis unfolded in 2020. Under Jane Frederick's leadership and vision, AIA Architects went immediately into action. Among the most impactful ways was the COVID-19 alternate care sites assessment tool. That resource, adopted by the U.S. Department of State and others, helped evaluate buildings to be used for temporary healthcare operations during a pandemic. The translated document we created is available now to embassies all around the world. And that's just one example. And it stands as a powerful reminder to the ability of this profession to help solve big problems. I'd like to ask Jane Frederick and my immediate predecessor, Peter Exley, to please stand. Thank you. Jane's decisiveness in the face of unprecedented challenges and Peter's innovative leadership have served us brilliantly. They held the office of president during two of the most difficult and pivotal years in recent history, and we are all better for their service. Their efforts, I'm convinced, are going to be remembered among AIA's finest moments. Thank you. I think the lesson of the last few years is that we insisted on showing our relevance, not just talking about it. By showing, not just telling, we demonstrated the value of design thinking. Our value became self-evident to the public, to the policymakers, to the lawmakers, and to our strategic partners. When we are relevant, we become valuable. And when our true value is clearly understood, we have expanded opportunities to prosper as a profession in the broadest sense. Put another way, we can do well and do good. As many of you know, I'm from Austin, Texas. It just so happens that Austin sits on the longitudinal line known as the 98th meridian. That places my city on an imaginary line that delineates the topographic and climatological border between east and west in this continent. I'm standing before you today on another imaginary line, one in our shared collective history. Coming from a city on the 98th meridian, I also happen to be the 98th president of the AIA. That synchronicity made me reflect on the deeper meaning of imaginary lines, boundaries, and borders, because Austin, in a sense, is a border town. It has become a threshold, a complex convergence of culture and perspective. And the wonderful weirdness Austinites so passionately guard has its roots in a deep history of converging cultures. If we're paying attention, we know this place, where we are right now, has a deep history too. We know North America's indigenous peoples were the first stewards of this land and cherish it still, as we saw so beautifully yesterday in that blessing. We are connected to them by a shared and at times deeply painful history of exploitation and marginalization. But I believe we are better than our history. I also believe that what truly connects us, our humanity, is more powerful and, I hope, a more positive force in the years ahead. The property lines that define where we are, McCormick Place, are connected to the history of this city. Our time here will deepen our connection to this great city and to each other. The connection between past, present, and future are ephemeral, imaginary, and yet they are powerful and compelling. As we gather in this city, in this space, to celebrate our profession, we become part of a line of colleagues who came before and who will follow us. That line, that connection is imaginary, but important and powerful. When you think about it, what we do as architects is draw lines that define, protect, delight, and inspire every day. Our work shows that imaginary lines can distinguish, illuminate, and bring people together. The reverse is equally true. Our imaginary lines, if we're not careful, if we're not paying attention, can divide and become barriers. That places a great deal of power and agency in our hands as architects, because we manifest the power of design through imaginary lines. We have the power to make those lines barriers which separate us. Or we have the power to make those lines bridges that bring us together. It feels to me like we're in a pivotal moment, a threshold place, liminal space where things going forward are going to be different than the past that we've known. A point where we must decide whether and how to confront the barriers to realizing the full potential of society, including the ongoing climate crisis, social inequality, and political, economic, gender, and racial marginalization. But it won't be those challenges that define us. It will be our response to them. How we choose to advance efforts to break down barriers and build bridges to a better, safer, healthier, and more sustainable future will define us today and shape how we are remembered tomorrow. That's powerful. That is the magic of architecture. Design is our superpower to bring people together, to create places and spaces that are bridges to a better, brighter future for our families, communities, the nation, and global society through the power of design thinking. The question that we must answer through what we say, what we think, what we do, what we design, the question is quite simple, really. Are the imaginary lines that I am creating producing barriers or bridges? The role our profession will play in the emerging new reality, the extent to which our value will be relevant, our ability to prosper in the broadest sense, I'm convinced, has everything to do with us showing our relevance. It is true, we can do good as we do well, but I'm convinced for us to do well, we must do good. The reality is, if we're paying attention, every moment we experience, every place we find ourselves is a threshold. Let's make the most of this threshold moment. Let's remember to pay attention to whether we are creating barriers or bridges to a better future. And let's decide together to shape the built realm in ways that create an enduring connection to a brighter, fairer, and more sustainable future for everyone. We have agency. That power is in our hands. Thank you.